Kendrick drops a verse on Future and Metro Boomin's track, dissing Drake and J. Cole. What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I want to thank you for watching. I got 1 million views. We just hit 1 million views on my channel. I appreciate everybody that subbed, everybody that's showing love in the comments or whatever you're doing, just whatever, just being here. I appreciate that. But I got to do something today that I'm like, kind of like, you know how when your heart broken, you know how when you got 3 friends and they fighting? It hurt, bro. But at the end of the day, this happened. Kendrick snapped. And I know why he snapped. I'm going to break down the lyrics. I know that's what y'all want to get to. But before we even get to the lyrics, I want to talk about why he snapped. I'm going to tell you why I feel like Kendrick snapped. If you got 2 dudes, one you supposed to be cool with, and the other one y'all fell out about 10 years ago, and you see them linking up, and people keep saying it's you, him, and him are the greatest of all time, but you see that they linking up, going on tour together. They holding hands, they shucking and jiving together. And then you drop an album where you pour your heart into it. It's to many people a classic hip-hop album, which means it has all of the elements of a hip-hop album, but it also accelerates the culture, which is what Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers actually did. For the people that do not know, he made it cool to speak on self-help and paranoia, anxiety, all kind of mistakes and regret, which a lot of rappers are extremely scared to do. And a lot of rappers, I want to say 98% of the rappers, old or young, would have been too scared to drop an album that vulnerable. So when he dropped the album that vulnerable, he got just what you would expect from the underappreciative fans, or the people who only want to hear rhymes with beats. They only want to hear the same old, same old. Some of them wasn't feeling it to a certain degree. And I know some people were saying crazy stuff like Mr. Morale and the Mid-Steppers, stuff like that, right? I thought the album was classic. I listened to that album more than any album of the year when it dropped. Nothing. I listened to nothing more than that album. And I thought the album was genius. But when you got people directly coming at you, coming at your album sales, coming at your body of work, right? Every single thing you do is getting judged based on what this other guy does. These other 2 guys, actually. At the end of the day, J. Cole hasn't dropped an album in a while, but every time Drake dropped an album, they compare the sales of Kendrick's last album to what Drake just dropped, right? Kendrick had dropped Damn and God Knows When, and when Drake dropped Honestly Nevermind, they're saying that he lost to him some kind of way. And then when he dropped Mr. Morale, and that beat the sales of Honestly Nevermind, which was more or less a house album, they're saying you won to a degree, and then they're saying you lost when he came back with the album with 21 Savage. So it's like it's constantly, I can't win or lose. I got to keep hearing about this guy. Even though we all know Mr. Morale was not an album that was supposed to compete lyrically with MCs. He only said one line about Drake on there, pretty much, as far as I know. He only said he was confused when Drake made up with Kanye, which we all were. And we all know that it wasn't a real moment. It was allegedly, supposedly, because of this guy, right? Rap-A-Lot Records, right? And we all knew that it was confusing, but at the same time, you're like, how you self-helping yourself, Kendrick, when you sitting here talking about I'm confused that they made up, right? It's supposed to make up. It's supposed to be self-help. But end of the day, the album was not mentally and spiritually and physically made to compete with dudes, and they still were judging it on that level, right? Like when Jay dropped American Gangster, Jay was like, you're not going to pick this album apart for singles. He wouldn't let them split the album up. He was like, this has to be a concept album or you can't carry it. You're not going to have it in singles, because it's supposed to play from beginning to end. That's what Mr. Morale is. And a lot of people can't deal with concept albums. They're looking for the big single, the big song, the big record that's going to, this is the one. But that's not what Mr. Morale is about. But once again, he's getting thrown into this big three conversation with dudes that he more or less not even competing with. He taking mad years to bring out an album. If he was competing with them, he would go tit for tat with Drake. Right? Artists move when artists want to move. So I feel like what happened with Kendrick, he got a little tired of hearing about this big three. And everything he drops gets compared to the numbers of this guy who ain't even doing the same kind of music. This verse right here, this was a fuse that popped. Like, it's always been a problem underlining these three's relationship. There's always been a underlying since the Control verse of I'm trying to murder you dudes. I rock with all of you, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to murder you. And it's always been that ever since. And Cole went on a rant, a vicious rant for a few years, bodying every verse. That wasn't by no mistake. That was because a lot of people started to pigeonhole him as this conscious artist. And he went out and was like, especially around that time when I believe it was No Name, called him out for not being at the marches, called him and Kendrick out. Meanwhile, pictures are surfacing right after she did that of them at the marches, right, for George Floyd. But around that time, he started getting pigeonholed. Where are they when you need them? They're not on the front lines, right? So he was like, wait, when I get to be the conscious square rapper that's doing civil rights all day, when I get to be Chuck D. And ever since that little spat with that girl, this dude been going by. He been like, I'm going left. I'm not going to ever sit here and be you're not going to pigeonhole me as the conscious. I'm the bean pie rapper. So he's been going nuts on every verse since then, right? Cole been going nuts. It's unapologetic. I'm trying to be the best. He been bodying everything he's been touching. It ain't been no conscious rap. So ever since that, these three have been kind of touching. Even Cole said they don't consider me. They put me in third when it comes to these two dudes. But I think when he said that, that's when the big three the talk started to get louder. Like, nah, throw Cole in there. He wanted the big three. So it started to get where, all right, he is a big three. So now we got this big three conversation. And right now, these are the biggest three rappers. Big Sean tries to muscle his way in, and they kind of like, these three don't even have to push Big Sean. The society, right? Hip-hop community pushes like, okay, all right, calm down. We're not going to throw you in this big three conversation. And the reason there is a big three conversation is because these three dudes are good at what they do. Now, they're going to get criticized. Let's be honest. Kendrick got criticized for Mr. Morale being what it was. It wasn't all the niggerish ghetto stuff that everybody thought they was going to get. And it still was one of the biggest, I think it was the most streamed album in the world for a few months. It had more streams than anything else, right? Any genre. But when you go back, and I ask people, when I be talking to people all the time, be like, how'd you feel about it? And people are very divided. The more of the intellectual rappers like myself that want to hear lyrics and bars, love it, right? Love it. They think it's amazing. And people that's true with they honest with their inner feelings, right? A lot of people that can self-diagnose and they know the cause and effect of growing your inner spirit. Like people more on a higher level, their vibrational level is higher. They relate to the album. A lot of people who want to just hear straight up, they want to hear the game. They want to hear Nip. Like, not saying Nip ain't doing, but at the end of the day, they want to hear the straight up West Coast. We don't want to learn nothing about being better. We don't want to hear nothing about our faults and your regrets about your mom and dad. We want to hear bars and that's it. They wasn't jacking it, right? I went to LA and when I was on No Jumper and I was talking to, who was it? Dejan, I believe his name is. I asked him, did he like Mr. Moran? This is an LA dude. And he said, no, he said it was mid. And this is a dude out there in LA, right? So I'm like, if he's saying it, then a lot of LA dudes must be feeling the same way, right? But end of the day, he got tired of that. And what happened was these three guys been volleying for this spot without even asking for it. So where we are now is Kendrick snapped because he's tired of hearing about this. And this been coming for a while because we understand that they've been taking little shots at each other, but they haven't really fully full on went at each other. Now, Metro Boomin has a problem with Drake right now. So you know what they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Metro Boomin pushed this album out with Future, who allegedly is also feeling a kind of way about Drake. I don't know how or why Future is feeling a way about Drake, but that's what the little rumblings are saying, that Future's feeling a way about Drake. So these two dudes linked up and put a song out called Like That, and they feature Kendrick Lamar on here. Now, I'm going to say this. For the most part, if you rocking with a dude, if we rocking and I put a song out where a dude is going at me, and you're doing the ad libs and like you kind of agreeing with it. So we're gonna have to say Future low key is co-signing this. Let's just be honest. So if Future let him say these bars and he didn't stop the record, or Metro Boomin didn't let him stop the record, then they co-signing it. So we're gonna leave it at that. These two guys are co-signing everything that Kendrick said in this verse, and I'm gonna get into the verse, but I believe he snapped because these two dudes are linking up, and he has to keep hearing about this big three. And he's like, nah, I'm tired. I'm not with these dudes. They're not on my level in his mind, right? Because let's be honest, Drake raps when Drake want to rap. He's singing and he's doing a bigger thing. Drake is a pop star. He's doing bigger things than you, right? He's trying to be on a bigger level. He's not just straight up barring you. Which that's why it makes his conversation as being the big three of rappers is kind of like in question in a way because he's not really rapping most of the time. But Cole is trying to be that. Cole is trying to be a straight up barist, lyricist, whatever you want to say. And he's still not making albums like that. He's just going around. Let's be honest, as a rapper, right? I'm a rapper, right? As a rapper, it's a little easier to go body people on their own stuff. Somebody send you a collab, it's a little easier to just go body that 16 or go body that 32, whatever. It's a little easier because you have no dog in the fight. You're not making a complete album. You're just making the hardest verse, or you're just sitting around thinking of punchlines. It's a little easier to be a top-notch rapper if you're going around like Method Man, just freestyling on everybody's stuff. It's a little easier, bro. I'm just going to be honest. It's harder to make a full album. But to Cole's credit, he's doing what he's supposed to do as a rapper. And he's making straight up verses that are considered legendary bars. This guy has not missed, in my opinion. And even if he sound maybe a little out of place on some of these things, it don't matter. If you a lyricist and you came in here, you're going to eat it, right? The Lil Durk song. You might say, he's talking about rapping on this, and this ain't got nothing to do with rapping. But at the end of the day, the verse was fire. And he did his thing. He brought the numbers that needed to be brought to the song, which is what he got booked for. But I'm gonna digress. I'm digressing. At the end of the day, Kendrick snapped because he's tired of hearing about how these dudes in his lane. What he did with the Control verse, he separated himself. He separated himself so much on that Control verse that Jay Electronica was mad to this day. Still mad at that verse. Big Sean still mad at that verse to this day. So he separated himself so distinctly with the Control verse that to this day, a lot of people involved with that song don't have a voice in this business like he does. When he dropped, let's be honest, when Big Sean dropped his freestyle 2 days before this, it went viral, right? But it didn't go viral like this, right? And I have no problem with Big Sean. I like this freestyle. I talked about it on my other show, the What Show. We discussed it, said the freestyle was nice. But then this came out 2 days later, which nobody was expecting. He's not even credited on the song, right? I'm going to go into the verse real quick, and I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to rock you to death. But end of the day, this is a verse that ends a lot of speculation. You know who he's talking about. He doesn't have to say names because he's saying the names of everything around you and everything you involved with. So at that point, he's talking about you, right? And I'm not going to use the curse words because I'm not going to get my video demonetized. But these N-words talking out of their necks. Don't pull no coffin out your mouth. I'm way too paranoid for a threat. This is hard, bro. I'm just telling you right now. This is hard. And I don't know. listen, I don't know how Drake gonna respond, and I'm sure whatever he gonna respond, something slick and da. But I don't know if this is the problem that he want to deal with, because this is a problem. So he said, hey, let's get it, bro. DOT, the money, power, respect. The last one is better. Say it's a lot of goofies with a check. I mean, I hope them sentiments symbolic. My temperament bipolar. I chose violence. Okay, let's get it up. It's time for him to prove that he's a problem. Talking about Drake. And some people say he's dissing Cole. I don't think he's dissing Cole. I think Cole just catching shrapnel. You know what I'm saying? I think Cole just in it. It's like, if you in it, you in it. You standing next to him. You gonna just catch some shrapnels. He said, N-words clicking up, but cannot be legit. No 40 water, tell him. He's talking about E40. Hey, yeah, get up with me. F sneak dissing, first person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. Oh, that's hard. Because Drake and J. Cole. Song is called First Person Shooter. Which some people say Cole ate Drake on that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just a record, and they both did their thing, right? I'm gonna finish. He said, so when he said first person shoot, I hope they came with 3 switches. I hope you know what a switch is. It is for those that don't know, that is an automatic weapon, right? I don't know who don't know what a switch is, but anyway. I crash out like F-Rap, diss Melly Mel if I had to. Got 2 T's with me. I'm snatching chains and burning tattoos. Wow. Lost too many soldiers not to play it safe. If he walk around me with that stick, it ain't Andre 3K. Wow. Because 3K carries a stick. Andre 3000, if y'all don't know what that means. Think I won't drop the location? I still got PTSD. Mother F the big 3. N-word is just me. Wow. Listen. That's the most disrespectful, hardest line of 2024, probably 2023, and probably 2022, because it's basically saying they not rocking with me. I don't know these dudes. I'm better than both of them. Ain't no big 3. This me, right? Nigga bomb. See, I'm saying words. I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack. N-word, Prince outlived Mike Jack. So he's saying that because Drake passed Michael Jackson with that last album he just dropped. He passed Michael Jackson. So he's basically relaying himself to be the prince of this, and that he outlived Mike Jackson. Well, Prince did pass away, but he did outlive Mike Jackson. We all got passed away at some point, right? He said, for all your dogs getting buried. For all your dogs, the album he got is called For All the Dogs. He said, for all your dogs getting buried. That's a K with all these 9s. Kendrick with all these 9s. 9s is 9mm weapons. I'm trying to break this down for some of y'all. And he gonna see Pet Cemetery. Let me read that again. N-word, for all your dogs getting buried. That's a K with all these 9s. He gonna see the Pet Cemetery. I don't gotta explain that to you, but this is hard, bro. And sometimes when you break down lyrics from a diss, they don't be hard, and they be like, man, that joint was weak. This is hard in any kind of category. This gonna be difficult for Drake to come back to. He will. He'll respond, because that's what he does. He'll respond, and I have no doubt that he's gonna say something slick. But I really believe if Drake really wanted a problem with this dude, he would have gave it to him years ago, right? This right here, though, you're not ignoring this one. And Cole may even have to respond. Cole has to respond. Just on competition. Kendrick gonna know what it is. Kendrick know that he stepped his foot out there. He said some words. It's competition. We may be boys, but just like on Control, we boys, but I'm trying to tear your head off. And J. Cole has to respond. Now, like I said in the beginning, I like all 3 of these dudes, and it's like seeing your friends fight, and you can't really do nothing about it. But at the same time, it's good for hip-hop, right? It's good for hip-hop to a degree. We don't need it to get real super negative. We just need the bars and leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I already know what Cole gonna say is gonna be ridiculous. I already know this. I just know he's gonna twist this up. He'll probably print this out like I did and go line for line and try, and you know what I'm saying? He's gonna do some Eminem where he's gonna 8 Mile it and go, yeah, I am white. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a whole problem when Cole get this print out. But End of the day, man, Kendrick snap. I think this is one of them moments where this could be like Takeover was to Nas, where the response is going to have to be thought out, well thought out. And every element of it is going to have to be technically sound or you're done. Because right now, like when Jay dropped Takeover and Nas came, it was a little space of time before Nas responded. Nas was cooked. So right now, Drake is cooked. Drake and Cole, they singed up like they burnt up from head to toe. This was out of nowhere. This was an unwarranted, unsolicited attack. They cooked right now. I'm just gonna be honest. I wouldn't want to be on the other side of this, to be honest. I mean, not me. I'm personally, I want it. Like I'm saying, like if I'm a spitter, so I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna dissect this, and I'm gonna put some sazon on it. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this is what we doing, okay. But at the end of the day, until the response come, and I know this response gonna be, I think they both gonna say something, but I'm gonna be honest, bro. Drake been kind of coasting, because on first person shooter, Drake coasted when he should have been rowing the boat. It's like, I'm just gonna spit because they gonna say Cole better on this anyway. So it's like he just kind of coasted, and I'm like, Drake, and he went even harder on the joints, the other joints. So I'm like, why didn't he go as hard as he did on the other songs on that song? I don't know. When he did the 6-pack and he dropped all the rap songs, right? Get in the comments, let me know what you think. Is they cook? Are they cooked? Is this weak to you? Because if you're saying it's weak, I don't know if I can take you seriously. But his energy level, everything on this song was ridiculous, dog. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And end of the day, they got a problem. He chose violence. Let me know what you think in the comments. CLBMG. Like I said, we just hit a million views. Thank you. Continue to watch The What Show every Wednesday night on CLBMG Network. Also watch The Mixdown every Tuesday night on CLBMG Network. And we got a new show called Old Heads Only, where we discuss old classic albums and music and artists. Make sure you watch all that. CLBMG Network. My name is Charles Brown. I'm going to catch y'all on that flip side. Peace.
CLB.